Well, let's really knock your socks off. It's called user scripts, and gosh, it's got to be one of the most hidden, not used features. Because I bet if you're sitting there using your copy of the software right now, go ahead and try it, right click, and you're not going to see that option. User functions. That's because you have to have a special script. It sits where your data is located, and it has all kinds of fun language in it, and it makes the software do really interesting things. And Rainer and Miriam are now going to tell you how they do all that magic and what it ends up accomplishing.
Nice. Yeah, user scripts. Why do we do this? You know, every station has different needs to repeat things or to fill their fields in the way they exactly need it. In the case of Miriam's data, WDR has a little tool which is connected to MusicMaster to grab music data, metadata from their large, huge archive with a couple of million songs. And in these old, long-time archives, all over the world, we see this, there's a lot of stuff which is entered over the years in different ways, with different philosophies, in different settings. And now we come and we want to have it in MusicMaster for a certain purpose, you know? So this means we need to rearrange this data. So, but we don't want you to rearrange every data set in the same way, because there are some similarities which you want to have when you import a song, or if you have a song in the system, you want to treat it the same way. So the user scripts are a little text file which defines exactly what you want the system to do. Once you have defined this little workflow, you use the right mouse button, which Jill showed you, which is the user script, and you run it. And Miriam and with Scott from MusicMaster, with Miriam and WDR, we developed kind of the longest form of script there is. You have smaller ones, but we show you something which does a lot of things at the same time. And I think to address the question from David, there's many ways to enter songs pretty fast and to duplicate. I think that's a matter of just checking the different, what is for you the best version. But the script can be very helpful. You know, if you know, okay, we repeat this stuff over and over again, why don't we use user script? And I hand it over to Miriam. She has prepared some lovely data for you, Miriam.
Thank you, Rainer, and thanks to all the MusicMaster people for inviting me to tell you something about our MusicMaster Glamorizer. We invented this name, Glamorizer, because we wanted to find a name for a thing which for us is a bit miraculous. And so as the name Wizard was already used in the MusicMaster, so we were searching for another name and sitting together, and I thought, okay, to glamorize, that's something like a wizard. So we asked Rainer, can we call this Glamorizer? Okay, and so that's how we called it then. I'll tell you one or two words about the station I come from, the WDR. It's a big radio and television station, and so we have a lot of people working there, about 4,000 employees and 6,000 freelancers, even more, because, okay, it's several radio stations and television too. And we are in a comfortable situation to have a very big archive which is linked to our broadcast system, and our broadcast system which is linked to MusicMaster, and MusicMaster which is linked to the archive. So all the data is linked, and we can get a lot of metadata directly from our archive. So not only the audio, but also the metadata. And we need a lot of metadata because we have to fulfill, like Rainer said, a lot of needs. It's not only the music planner who wants to have his keywords for planning the music correctly, but it's also the host in the studio, it's the people reading the playlist in the internet who wants to have even more information. And it's last but not least, it's people from it's ASCAP report. So who wants other information. And so what we do is that we collect all this information in the MusicMaster, and first of all we fill our fields as automatically as we can from our archive system, and then we shrink it, and so that we can work as music planners in a good way. And this system of shrinking, so that's what the Glamorizer does for us. So what I have prepared for you now is I've got 3 titles where I will show you how the Glamorizer works. When I saw the Glamorizer first, well, the user script, it was in the Berlin radio station, who worked already longer with classical music and MusicMaster than we did. And they had a very small user script who put together the composer and the title of the music piece. So in a third field, so that together all the pieces from those composer would be separated from each. So like if you have here the concert number 23 in from Mozart, from different interprets, different soloists and different orchestras, it would be separated from all the other concerts number 23. And when we saw that, we thought, oh, wow, that's a good thing. We want to have this too. And they built it for us. And after that, we realized that the data that came from our archive system was good, but it was not good for planning. Like here, if you look here at the soloist, it got the piano, here clavier, that means piano, the instrument here. This is superb for the host, and this is superb for the playlist. But when you're planning with that as a keyword, I don't need that. I don't want that. So we thought, okay, perhaps the user script could copy this to another field and make it a keyword out of it without the piano. And then we thought, well, normally we work not with round curls, but we work with what's called with curled brackets. So perhaps the script could change the round brackets to curled brackets, because we were used to it from the old system, and it was it's better to read if you got those curled brackets for the instruments. And then we said, yeah, that's all great, yeah, perhaps I'll show you those features, those 2 features now with the Glamorizer, and then I'll tell you a bit more what it does, how it works, because those are only let's say 3 features that the Glamorizer does. So first, it puts the composer and the keyword, the title keyword, together in a new field. Here in this field, composer title. Then it makes the round brackets to curled brackets, and then it copies the soloist to the soloist keywords, but without the piano. Okay, I'll do that. So it's user functions, keyword Glamorizer, and you see here, this is filled, composer title, with the new keyword, and here you got Vladimir Horowitz without the piano, and the round brackets are curled now. If we would have several soloists, it would make different keywords out of it. And this is important because, of course, you need different keywords, but in the soloist text field, you need them all lined up, because only one field is exported to our broadcasting system and to our playlist. So it's good to have both fields. And then perhaps you saw there are other fields who were filled automatically. So like we have one field here, it's called the person field. We have made this field especially for Daniel Barenboim, for people like Daniel Barenboim, because there are some musicians that are not only soloists, but there are also conductors or work in different musical positions. And we don't want to have Daniel Barenboim in the same hour as a conductor and as a pianist. And we don't want to think all the time about this and care all the time about this. So we thought, okay, we'll have this person field, and the Glamorizer copies all the keywords from the soloist keyword field and from the keyword fields Leitung here, so this is for the conductor, to the person fields. So if you, oh sorry, it was filled with other content from another test, but you can see here it's Horowitz, Vladimir Horowitz, and Carlo Maria Giolini, who are in this field too. So I made another test before. You can see Rainer and me inside. Yeah. Okay. So what does the Glamorizer next is that it helps us preventing titles from the same CD playing in 1 hour or in several hours with the archive number, because in our archive system the first 10 numbers are for the CD. No, that's not true. The first 7 numbers are for CD. So the last 3 numbers are for the piece of music on the CD, but the first 7 numbers are for the CD. So what the Glamorizer does is that he copies this field, where you have the archive number plus the track. You see it here, it's the archive number plus track 2. And it copies it to this field, but it cuts off all the last numbers so that we preserve only the first 7 numbers. And so we can prevent playing other pieces of music from this CD too close to each other. So this was Rainer's idea to just use the archive number for preventing to play too close to each other. Okay, I'll show you another piece of music. So this one, because here you can see we have several soloists, and also we have 2 ensembles. You can see it when I do a mouse over here. You can see it's the ensemble from Hartmut Augustin and the ensemble Lajos Rovatka. And what the Glamorizer does too is that he copies those 2 keywords in the first as a third keyword together. I'll just show you. You'll see. So I do the right mouse. I do user functions, and then I do keyword Glamorizer. Okay, and now you see I've got 3 keywords here in the ensemble field. The first keywords is the 2 ensembles divided by a slash, because we need it like this for our playlist and for the host. And the second and the third keyword are used to separate. See, here are the 3 keywords. First is more for optical, to see it, and second and third are used to separate. Because it's not so often that you have more than one orchestra, more than one ensemble together. So we said we don't want to have an extra text field for the ensemble. I mean, we have so much field in classical music, you know that. That we didn't want to have an extra text field for this case, but so it's very good for us because we don't have to care for it. It just the system makes it just by itself. So this was this. So this is what our Glamorizer does. And now I show you another piece of music. So this is the one. Because we have a double function on our Glamorizer. We have, in Germany, we have a system that is called RDS. I don't know if you have this too. When driving in your car, you see the title of the music and the composer in your car, in the radio in your car. And the problem is that it has only 64 letters. So this is for classical music. We decided we want to see the composer and we want to see the piece of music. But 64 letters can be sometimes not enough. So we have set up in our Glamorizer an extra function only for the RDS text, and it tells us when the keyword or the RDS, when the text in the RDS field is too long. So when something in the end is cut off, and I show you because you see here the title is very long. And so if now I fill this field RDS text, yeah, it's a field which is for the RDS system. And when the text is too long here, it makes a bad smiley. So, see the bad smiley? And so then I know, okay, perhaps I'll look for the keyword and then just shorten it, and then it worked better. So either I shorten the RDS text directly here, or perhaps I look if I shorten the keyword, and then it will be better. So I go to the keyword, and I try to put up a better keyword. Oh, sorry. So this is a better keyword. And what I didn't tell you is the RDS Glamorizer also changes the first name and the second name. So because in the car you don't want to read Rameau Jean-Philippe, you want to read Jean-Philippe Rameau Pygmalion. So now I put the RDS Glamorizer. And you see, this, I can read it very well in the car. And so it's got changed, the name, so I can read it better. And here is the keyword, the title keyword. So those are the user functions which were good for us. Sometimes I think you can do a lot of user functions that you need. In fact, we have made a collection of things we wanted, and then we went to Rainer and told him, well, Rainer, we want this, and and he said, oh, well, I'll see what I can do for you. And then some days later, he came and we tried, and it worked out very well, and it saves us such a lot of time. I mean, you can imagine before that, there was some. We have one lady for WDR3 who who puts in all the data, so that the data is really set up very well, and she makes the creative data. So it's good when it's made by one person, because then it's very clear. And she had a lot of more time that she used to spend with all the data before we had to glamorize her. And now she has it, so she can spend more time researching for good music, which is much better for the pool than spending so much time with filling in the data in the fields and copying and shrinking and do all those things. So for us, this was great, and I can encourage you just to think what you want and tell them, so it's their problem afterwards.
I have the microphone now. Thanks, Miriam. Thank you. Wonderful. Thank you. So actually, Miriam is right. And before I hand over to Jill, I want to say this is really, I mean, well, I was not doing the script. Thanks, Miriam. Scott did most of the script. So Scott wrote in from Aware. And it probably was the longest script he ever wrote for a user script. And he definitely liked it when it was finished. No, it's your imagination. I mean, Miriam's totally right. If you have an idea, you want that. You're not satisfied with the way it works. So you want to have some stuff which makes it faster for you, easier. These routines, this stuff. And this is really one example. We have probably 50, 100 more examples, different examples, running in Europe or in Asia, in the stations. So it's really, if you say, okay, it would be great if it would do that, and it would do that, and it would do that, and I just have to push one button, let us know. Let Jill know, Drew, whoever, Paul, whoever is your contact person at MusicMaster. We're happy to, we're either happy to show you how you can do it easily yourself, or we can help you doing it. So this is a really something which, again, strengthens the customizable. But what we want to do is make it a personal version for you. It's not a software which comes and you have to use it. It's a software where you can make it use.